Hello everyone, welcome to yet another video of electromagnetic fields. In the previous couple of videos we have discussed about what is meant by electromagnetic fields, what are the sources, effects and applications, and in the previous video we all discussed about what is vector fields. We have discussed about the two major categories, what is meant by scalar fields and the other one vector fields. So now we are going to discuss about vector calculus, which is a major part in electromagnetic fields, wherein which we will perform all the vector mathematical calculations using this vector calculus alone. So one main important topic in vector calculus is vector multiplication. So let's dive into the topic and discuss in detail about the different vector multiplications available. So when we talk about vector multiplication, when we talk about multiplications, there are different types of multiplications associated with scalar and vector. We can multiply two scalars, we can multiply a scalar with a vector, or with a vector with a scalar, vice versa, and between two vectors. So the first category is between two scalars. When we multiply two scalars, the resultant will also be a scalar quantity. For example, if I multiply a mass of 100, if I take two masses, 50 kg into the other one is some 100 kg, if I take it, for example, if I multiply these two scalar quantities, the resultant answer that I am going to get is again a scalar value. But if I multiply a scalar with a vector, then the resultant will be a vector. For example, let a vector be x ax plus y ay plus z az. Let this be a vector which is multiplied by a scalar magnitude value of 5. Then the resultant value will be 5x ax plus 5y ay plus 5z az, which is a vector quantity. So whenever we multiply a scalar with a vector, we can have a vector value only. But there is a different category, which is the vector multiplication, in which we are going to multiply two vector values. So when we multiply two vector values, the resultant will be either a scalar value or it can be a vector value. It depends on the type of multiplications we use. So based on that, we have two different multiplications. One is dot product, the other one is cross product. So first let's see about what is meant by vector multiplication in general. So there are several processes that can be described as vector multiplications, like I already told. First, there is scalar multiplications, which I have discussed with an example. Then there is n number of ways to multiply two vectors. So in general, the major two multiplication methods that are predominantly used for vector multiplications are dot product, the other one is cross product. So here we have discussed about the scalar multiplications. So, and also here we have seen about, so scalar multiplication is when a vector is multiplied by a scalar, that we have already discussed. So when a scalar is multiplied by a vector, it means that the length of the vector gets multiplied. For example, if I am multiplying 2 with a vector v, the resultant will be 2v. So the length of the vector gets multiplied twice. Now let's see about dot product. So dot product is an operator between two vectors that returns a scalar. So the answer for a dot product is always a scalar. So dot product is given by, if let two vectors be v1 and v2, then the dot product is given by v1 dot v2. So the dot represents the type of multiplication performed between these two vectors. So it takes the length of the component and multiplies it by the length of the second vector. So the resultant will be the multiplied length of the two vectors. So it will be a scalar value. But cross product returns another vector. It multiplies the length and also it perpendicularly calculates the direction of the vector. So the resultant will have both vector and scalar, which is given by V1 cross V2. So a cross product will always return a scalar and dot product will always return